Tonight on NewsWatch Ole Miss, funding is low for a local literacy program for children in Lafayette County. Coming up, we'll have more on how the lack of funding has affected the program so far this year.
Plus, IMC Connect is back at Ole Miss, and you still have time to register. More details on the event are coming up. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Hannah Baker.
And I'm Alexia Anderchek.
To start the show off, let's get a first look at our weather for today.
Thank you, Hannah. As it stands right now, we are looking at a current temperature of 70 degrees here in Oxford with some cloudy skies, and it does look like we're going to be having some rain heading our way over the next few hours, so make sure to stay tuned for your full forecast. Back to you at the desk.
A concerning trend, United Way donations have been on a steady decline in Lafayette County. NewsWatch reporter Cody Ferris shows us how Oxford children rely on this funding for their future.
Although donations may be down, partners like the Leapfrog program here at St. Peter's have had to jump into action. Leapfrog is a nonprofit literacy program in Oxford that relies on United Way donations to help students. Director Whitney Sweeney says it warms her heart when she sees the importance of reading come together with students in the program, and her stories about the students speak for themselves.
So one day he was against it. He goes, I don't want to read. I'm going to play sports, and he was super athletic. One day you just saw it click. He goes, it clicked. The reading, all the phonics went together, and he passed his reading gate test. And his mom called. He was so excited.
United Way Oxford Director Kurt Brummett explained the downward trend in donations.
And there were some tax law changes several years back. It doubled the standard deduction, so a lot of times people were using that when they itemized their taxes. They would use the donations, but with many people just using the standard deduction, that kind of de-incentivized giving.
According to Sweeney, this funding is critical to the success of students in the Leapfrog program.
The biggest thing we are trying to help is for them to pass their reading gate test in 3rd grade. You have to pass that on the state level to move on to 4th grade. So we're trying to prepare all the students to be able to pass that 3rd grade reading gate test.
Brummett says the proof is in the pudding, and he sees great outcomes of programs like Leapfrog in the Oxford Lafayette community. NewsWatch, Cody Ferris, Ole Miss.
The City of Oxford received $2 million to pave a road that will connect University Avenue with Commonwealth Boulevard. Mayor Robin Tannehill said that this is a much-needed development that will, quote, allow residents to access University Avenue without having to travel on Highway 7 South. Tannehill has expressed how grateful the city is for these funds, but it will not cover the entire cost of building the connecting road. The funds were awarded through the Housing and Urban Development Related Agencies Appropriations Bill that made it through the House and Senate. And students get excited because a new food truck is making its way onto campus. Yum Yum Thai is transitioning into a mobile food truck that will now be parked on campus. Over the past 2 years, it's been an integral part of campus dining. The owner explains that switching to a food truck is not only motivated by flexibility, but also by high rent prices. It will be parked on University Ave by the Grove or in front of Burns Hall.
Coming to the Gertrude C. Ford Center. Tuesday, March 26th, Shrek, Fiona, Donkey, and all of their fairy tale friends will be taking the stage to tell the popular story of Shrek. The national tour will be making its final stop at the Ford Center. Tickets are on sale now on the Ole Miss box office website. They are $75 for general admission and $25 for students. The 21st Annual Oxford Film Festival started today and will continue until Sunday the 24th. Tickets for the general public will be $12 per film. Tickets for members and students will be $10 per film. The festival will take place at the Malco Theater. More information can be found at ox-film.com.
The Board of Aldermen read 2 retirement resolutions to say goodbye to a city engineer and firefighter who spent many years bettering the lives of Oxford residents. The board first recognized Captain William Tidwell from the Oxford Fire Department. He's established as an invaluable resource and a beloved figure of the Oxford Fire Department. Next, they recognized Raina Mayoral. During her time with the city, she has guided and overseen many projects that improved the daily lives of Oxford residents. We thank both of them for their years of service here in Oxford and wish them a happy retirement. ASB executive candidates engaged in their annual debate this past Tuesday ahead of Election Day next week. Candidates running for positions answered questions submitted by the student body and promoted their campaigns. A consistent theme of the night was the need to increase transparency and to extend student body involvement in ASB. More information on each candidate can be found on the DM's website. The polls will be open on Tuesday, March 26th.
IMC Connect is back. Ole Miss's School of Journalism and New Media is hosting its annual IMC Connect conference next week, March 25th through March 27th. This year it's partnering with the Public Relations Student Society Association, or PRSSA, for their district conference. PRSSA President Carly Harbin says the event is a great opportunity for students of all majors to network with professionals.
Event was born 3 years ago, and it just takes researchers and different companies like Toyota, C-Spire, Edelman, Boeing. So we have a lot. You can find this on our IMC Connect website. You can get internship opportunities, job opportunities, and it's a great way to meet just these professionals that you wouldn't get normally.
The event is free to the public and will take place at multiple locations across the Ole Miss campus and Oxford. It will feature multiple panels, workshops, and activities for all people of interest. You can register to see full schedule plus more details on their website, www.imcconnect.com.
Coming up, we have an update on the Goon Squad sentencing.
And the Department of Justice sued Apple. Stay tuned to find out why. NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back.
Mississippi.
Hey, Mississippi.
Don't trash Mississippi.
Because picking up litter costs us time
and money.
MDOT spends $3.2 million a year picking up litter.
That's money that could be used to maintain roads and bridges,
Patch potholes.
and focus on improving Mississippi's infrastructure.
Please help us help you.
We can't do it without you.
Don't trash Mississippi.
Don't trash Mississippi.
We're here when you're ready.
Mom, I got it. What are you doing in there?
I got stuck.
Are you a dog?
I wouldn't do that. Have you seen the pliers? Where'd you find those?
It's not your birthday.
Sorry.
Bye, Grandpa.
Bye, Grandpa.
Take care of yourself.
What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. Former Deputy Brett McAlpin has been sentenced to 27 years in prison. He is one of the 6 Rankin County Sheriff's deputies involved in the 2023 torture of 2 black men. McAlpin pleaded guilty last year to a number of federal charges, including conspiracy against rights and obstruction of justice. He also pleaded guilty to state charges related to the incident and is awaiting sentences on those charges. A Missouri man faces 7 felony charges after several loaded weapons were found inside his vehicle. Joel DeJesus Diaz was pulled over for a traffic stop this weekend in Swansea, Illinois. Police say they found an AK-style rifle, 2 short rifles, and 3 semi-automatic pistols. DeJesus Diaz was also wearing body armor at the time. The stop occurred shortly before the start of a St. Patrick's Day parade near Belleville area. police don't think there is a link between the two. The U.S. Department of Justice in more than a dozen states filed an antitrust lawsuit against Apple. The DOJ is claiming that Apple uses strategies such as blocking new apps and altering how Android messages look to Apple users in order to maintain their monopoly in the smartphone industry. Reporter Mike Valerio has more information on the case.
It's a sweeping U.S. antitrust lawsuit against Apple, which the Department of Justice compares to its historic case against Microsoft in the 90s and the breakup of the monopoly of Standard Oil back in 1911. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland said Thursday the heart of this blockbuster case is simple.
We allege that Apple has consolidated its monopoly power, not by making its own products better, but by making other products worse.
Making other products worse, the DOJ alleges, to disincentivize consumers from using products that are not made by Apple.
We bring this case to make sure that Apple competes by innovating rather than imposing rules and fees that prevent others from innovating and competing too.
The DOJ described how Apple, it says, degrades how Android messages appear on iPhones, blocks new apps on the iPhone operating system, and restricts competing smartwatches from working with iPhones. All the DOJ says making consumers more likely to buy from Apple.
As any iPhone user who has ever seen a green text message or received a tiny, grainy video can attest, Apple's anti-competitive conduct also includes making it more difficult for iPhone users to message with users of non-Apple products.
Apple denied the lawsuit's allegations and in a statement said the lawsuit could set a, quote, dangerous precedent and hinder its ability to make compelling and consumer-friendly technology. The company writing, quote, this lawsuit threatens who we are and the principles that set Apple products apart in fiercely competitive markets. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Have uncovered another reason for smokers to quit. It might lead to an increase in a kind of body fat linked to serious diseases. Smoking can cause a buildup in a person's abdominal fat. Study shows that this visceral fat causes inflammation leading to chronic health issues like diabetes and heart issues. Visceral fat surrounds the organs inside of one's abdomen. Researchers have yet to discover if this fat declines after a person stops smoking. And a major milestone in medicine happened this past weekend. The first successful transplant of a genetically modified pig kidney into a living human recipient. The 69-year-old patient had end-stage kidney failure and had the 4-hour operation at Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston. The pig kidney had been genetically modified 69 times to reduce the risk of rejection. Doctors say that the new kidney seems to be functioning normally, and they expect the patient to be discharged soon.
The U.S. could be facing a brief government shutdown this weekend, despite a strong bipartisan agreement. The issue does not lie in support, but in time. Reporter Amy Kiley has more.
Where there's a will.
We've been very, very consistent, very adamant that we had to get our government funded. We had to get the appropriations process done.
There's not always a way. Parts of the federal government could briefly shut down this weekend, despite a bipartisan budget deal. The issue is time and whether it can overcome hurdles by the end of tomorrow.
Even with bipartisanship, it's going to be a tight squeeze to get this funding package passed.
The deal appears to have enough support to pass eventually. It funds parts of the government an earlier package didn't cover.
There's absolutely no reason for a pointless and costly shutdown.
But legislating requires a series of steps. With everyone in agreement, they go quickly. But how often is Congress in total agreement?
You think you guys should shut it down?
I do.
Lawmakers who oppose the deal have ways to slow down the process. Some say they at least want more time to read the legislation.
You don't even know what's in there and what's not in there.
In the House, expediting with a suspension of the rules requires a supermajority. In the Senate, a speedy unanimous consent vote fails if a single person objects.
The point isn't really about the process of whether it's Friday or Saturday or Sunday. It's whether or not someone stands up and says the emperor has no clothes, the country has no money.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The Starbucks branded 2023 holiday gift sets may not have been so cheery. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, the ceramic mugs can overheat and break when microwaved or used for hot liquids. Officials say that about a dozen incidents have been reported of the mugs breaking. 10 people have reported related burns and blister injuries. Over 440,000 of the gift sets were sold from November to January. Consumers are being advised to return the mugs for a full refund. Although we've experienced a cold welcome back from spring break, the future is looking warmer. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration released its prediction for the U.S. today. Most of the U.S. can expect warmer conditions, while the southeast may be more rainy and humid. This season's temperatures will be above average starting in April through the month of June. Speaking of weather in the spring season, let's take another look at our conditions with weather anchor Seth Parento.
Thank you, Alexia. As we head into this evening, we are looking at a temperature of 51 degrees with some clouds rolling into, just as you put it, Alexia, bring some rain into the south. I'll have more on this incoming system after the break. NewsWatch Ole Miss, we'll be right back.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride? Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss with Stormwatch. I'm Seth Parento. Well, if we take a look at our current conditions here in Oxford, we are seeing a temperature of 70 degrees with some cloudy skies and a light breeze of around 5 miles per hour. And if we take a look at the rest of northern Mississippi, you will see temperatures consistent in the upper 60s and low 70s, with Corinth at a regional high of 74 degrees. And as we head into this evening, we are looking at a low of 51 degrees with some clouds staying around and that breeze dipping just a little bit to around 3 miles per hour. And as we head into tomorrow, we are looking at a high of 64, but with some rain now heading our way. We have a precipitation chance of 94%, and it's looking to be raining pretty much all day, with that breeze staying consistent and picking out a little bit actually to around 9 miles per hour. And if we take a look across the rest of northern Mississippi for tomorrow, you will see temperatures consistent in the mid to upper 60s, with Corinth again having the regional high of 67 degrees. And if we take a look at our 5-day forecast, you'll be seeing that rain doesn't appear to be going anywhere for the rest of the week, with Saturday and Sunday actually being our only days, it looks like, this week without any rain.
That makes me so sad. I did not want to see rain in that forecast.
That's it. Well, you just reported on the story. They said rain in the south.
And I'm so sad. I'm ready for
Considering we have
sunny
outdoor
weather.
sports, that's not good.
I know. What's coming up, Haley?
Well, coming up in sports, the women's tennis team returns home this weekend to host 2 big matchups. And the track and field team is competing at home for the very first time this season. I'll have that and more next up in sports.
Great having you. Incredible women. I wish they had those kind of cool careers for women when we were growing up.
So in this flashback, we're all the same age?
Yeah.
What does everyone want to be when they grow up?
If I say 2 jobs, do I get extra credit? No.
I want to make immersive video games. I want to revolutionize 3D printing. I want to analyze data from the cloud.
I want to be a meteor.
You mean meteorologist?
No.
That's great, Al. Follow your dreams.
For the record, I was a baby in the 70s.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's all good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How was it? Is it good?
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Haley Hood with Sports Watch. Kicking things off in sports, Ole Miss Track and Field will compete at home for the very first time this season at the annual Ole Miss this weekend. Action Friday will feature a handful of events, starting with the Women's Hammer at noon, and an eventful slate is also planned for Saturday, beginning with the Women's High Jump and Discus at 11 a.m. There will be a total of 15 schools in attendance, and some exciting news for the fans is that beer and seltzers will also be available for the very first time, and there will be free admission for students all weekend. And the Ole Miss tennis squad prepares to face two top 25 opponents this weekend back at their home court. Ole Miss will take on the Auburn Tigers tomorrow at 3 p.m. and the Alabama Crimson Tide this Sunday at 1 p.m. After the Rebels defeated the number 34 LSU for Ole Miss's first ranked victory of the season, the Rebs have shot up in the rankings, taking the Tigers' spot at number 34. Junior Anael Leclerc-Fitcher clinched this win over the LSU Tigers and is currently undefeated in duo singles and doubles in the SEC. And senior Rika Zadori currently sits in 30th place on the Ole Miss all-time career singles win with 56 wins. And this season, the Ole Miss baseball team will return to ESPNU later this month with an inside look at the Rebels' road trip to Hawaii and a series win at home over Iowa. Sorry, guys. In its 13 seasons on air, this show has provided fans with an in-depth view into the Rebel programs with highlights and view inside the locker room, training room, practice fields, and classrooms from the viewpoint of athletes and coaches. The Ole Miss sports production staff also delivers personal features that include visits to the players' houses, hangouts, and hometowns for a truly intimate experience. And the Grove Collective announces the final bracket for the March to Victory Bracket Challenge. Despite a late surge from Central Mississippi region, North Mississippi took home the #1 overall seed and also had the highest single donation in round 1. They will be matched up against the #8 seed South Mississippi, the #4 seed West Tennessee, and the #5 seeded Georgia region will compete against one another. And then on the other side of the bracket, you can see after nearly taking home the top seed, the #2 seed Central Mississippi will take on the #7 seed East Tennessee / Kentucky region. And finally, the #3 seed North Texas will take on the #6 seed South Texas. All who donate to the March to Victory Bracket Challenge will be invited to the first annual Grove Day held on April 13th. And that's all I've got for sports for tonight. Be sure to tune into Rebel Watch tomorrow at 5 to catch up on all the latest Ole Miss sports news and beyond. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Haley. Coming up, see where these orphaned otters found their forever home.
NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back.
there's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.
Never gonna let
Bear evictor isn't typically something that comes to mind when thinking of careers.
But for Ann Bryant, it's all part of the plan. Reporter Patrick Cornell has the story.
Here's a job you probably never knew existed. Professional bear evictor. Meet Ann Bryant, Executive Director of the Bear League. Based near Lake Tahoe, this group of volunteers seeks to educate people on their furry neighbors, but also how to keep those personal space invaders out of places they don't belong.
It's just the bears doing what they need to compensate for us taking over what has historically been their forest.
Looking for spots to hibernate, these massive animals find their way into crawl spaces under homes to tuck in for the winter.
Come on, bear!
And Bryant says this year was a record for bear eviction.
That sounds like my worst nightmare if it was a job.
I remember seeing a bear when my family was in Maine. I'm very happy it did not end up underneath the house or in my basement.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely
that
terrifying.
Sounds terrible. Yeah, I don't think I never want to see a bear in my life.
But at least we know who to call now.
Yes,
right.
we
So
true. Well, these otter pops have grown a lot since their arrival at the Minnesota Zoo this October.
6-month-old Nuka and 9-month-old Denali are now able to eat foods like clams, shrimps, and mussels.
They have gained a little under 20 pounds since their arrival, thanks to the zoo trainers who have served as the otters' mothers, providing them 24-hour care.
Nuka and Denali will now be joining 3 male otters at the Minnesota Zoo, which is now officially their forever home.
That is so sweet.
That's such a good story.
So precious.
I'm so glad they found a home.
Truly, truly. And well, if they were here in Mississippi, they would actually be loving it, because if we take a look at that 5-day forecast, as you can see, we do have some rain heading our way for pretty much the rest of the week, with the exception of Saturday and Sunday. So if you have any plans for the weekend, those are your 2 days. So go out and have fun, everybody.
Maybe we should get those little otters.
We should. NewsWatch times otters.
I'm in.
We need it. We need it to happen. Well, that's all we have for tonight. Tune in tomorrow. I'm Alexi Anderchek.
And I'm Hannah Baker with your latest news.
And I'm Haley Hood with Sports Watch.
And with Stormwatch, I'm Seth Parento.
Be sure to keep up with us on our socials and tune in tomorrow at 5. NewsWatch Ole Miss, where we keep it live and keep it local.